Happy Monday, May 20th. We are 1 week away from Memorial Day, and I'm sure you are gearing up to have all kinds of fun with your friends and family. But before you do, we've got some interesting conversations that are going to be had on today's show. Welcome to Wasatch Weekends. I'm Kimberly Perot, and we'll be talking to Bogle Wines about sustainability and their brand new packaging. Cannot wait to have that conversation later today. Plus, we'll be taking a look back at the conversation about a brand new TV series all about the bees. Cannot wait to tell you more about that. And then if you like chess, we have a conversation with a chess grandmaster. So let's get started. Thanks for joining the show. Now, if you were anything like me, you could not get enough of the Netflix series, The Queen's Gambit. And joining us on the couch, we had a conversation with a chess grandmaster, real life Queen's Gambit. So let's take a look.
Are you someone who loves to play chess? Well, chess is evolving just like everything else does, and we're joined by chess grandmaster Maurice Ashley. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, chess is a game that's evolving, and how is it evolving as the new generation of players are starting to step in?
Well, back in the day, it was all about chess books. As you see behind me, I love reading books. But in today's generation, as you said, it has evolved and it's gone onto a digital platform. And so if you want to learn about chess these days, you could just jump online and not only see videos just play out before your eyes, but also watch these big chess tournaments that are happening with the best players in the world and commentators breaking it down and keep it simple and understandable and relatable. And as well, we're seeing people stream and they're making a living off of chess as a streamer, something we would never even guessed back in the day. So yes, the game has absolutely evolved into this digital landscape that is reaching a brand new audience.
Now, I just have a quick question for you. How do you become a chess master? Grandmaster.
Well, chess master, a master, international master, and grandmaster, it all happens by competing in chess tournaments against other ranked players. And the results that you have will qualify you for one of those titles. The International Chess Federation is the one that actually confers the grandmaster title. But again, it's you playing against top players. I had to play against grandmasters and international masters and be able to defeat those players. And your score is a very specific measurement that they use, the metric that the Federation uses to say, okay, this person has won enough games to qualify to getting that grandmaster title.
Wow, congratulations. So you've played a lot of chess in your time. Now, St. Louis is known as the chess capital here in the U.S. Why is that?
Well, it really started with a couple of philanthropists. Dr. Gene and Rex Singfield, fans of the game, started what they thought would just be a nice, cool club to play chess at with their friends. But then there became this incredible demand for chess in St. Louis, and now it's spread to over 100 schools. They have taught over 100,000 or about 100,000 kids chess over the years. And 10 years ago, Congress actually decreed St. Louis as the capital of chess in the United States. I should mention that the World Chess Hall of Fame was moved to St. Louis, and the largest chess piece in the world is actually standing in front of it right there in the Central West End in St. Louis. So St. Louis just is this hotbed of chess. You can't throw a rock and not hit a grandmaster walking the streets in St. Louis, as everyone has come to that Midwestern town in order to play chess.
Now, there's a really big tournament coming up. Can you give us some more information on why this one is so special?
Actually, the tournament you're talking about has just passed. The Congressional Chess Tournament. That tournament was commemorating St. Louis as the capital of chess in the U.S. 10 years later, it had a sponsor in Eric Schmidt, who is a senator from Missouri, and also Maggie Hassan, who is senator from New Hampshire. It featured a lot of Congress people as well. Senator Ted Cruz actually showed up. I got to play him a game. He's not bad, actually, but I had to take care of business. At any rate, it was a lot of fun. They had a lot of kids there as well. I got to meet Congresswoman Cori Bush, and it was just celebrated. The staffers came. Imagine playing chess in the U.S. Capitol. I mean, it is an exciting thing. And now it was so good that they're thinking of doing it every single year, because it's something Congress may not be able to agree on much, but this was something they agree on, that chess is an absolutely fantastic game for young people to play.
Those are some pretty big wins that you have under your belt, just in the way of bragging rights right there.
Indeed, indeed. I got a picture of the final position that I gave checkmate in, so I will certainly be able to whip that out in case the senator decides to say a few words. I'll say, hey, checkmate, buddy. This is how we do it.
I love it. I love it. Well, right behind you, there's a book called Move by Move, and this is your new book. So can you give us some information on that?
Move by Move, life lessons on and off the chessboard, written for everyone. Makes a great college gift, graduation gift, by the way. It's all about the lessons that I learned over the decades of playing chess. And there's so many life lessons that the game can impart to those who are devotees. One thing that's super important is learning from your mistakes. In this age of social media where mistakes are harangued and posted and commented on and laughed at, chess players understand that mistakes are something you have to actually study, look at very carefully. Don't avoid them, because they can be your greatest teachers. Another lesson I talk about is understanding the view from the other side of the board. The other person's opinion matters. When I'm playing chess, I can't just think I'm the genius. The other person is the genius. They're the ones who are trying to defeat me. So I have to watch everything that they do. I have to understand all their ideas, their hidden motivations, if I'm going to craft a strategy in order to become victorious. And that helps you not just in business. I've been able to speak to corporations about this, corporations like Google, Amazon, Pinterest, and the like. And I've also, it's also helpful in your personal life, because when you're in relationships, it's really important to understand the other person's point of view and not just try to espouse your own. And so these are lessons that I've talked about, including also being very humble. As a grandmaster, I consider myself an advanced beginner. It's not a game that you can master. You want to always go back to that basics, the beginning strategies, because they have so much to teach. So these are lessons I talk about in that book. I also have a children's book over my left shoulder, The Life-Changing Magic of Chess. It's made in the same vein, except for early readers. And some of the same lessons I talk about are in both books. But chess has just taught me so much over the years that I want to share it with everyone.
Now, if someone's a total novice when it comes to playing chess, much like myself, how can I get involved and feel comfortable in the openings of the chess world?
Well, chess, as I said, is now in the digital age. So the best place to go is online. There's so many great websites out there. stlouischessclub.org is one fantastic resource where you'll be able to watch videos, tens and thousands of hours of videos with the top players breaking it down, keeping it simple. You'll be able to watch the top players in top tournaments, their puzzles. You'll find out all about all these great programs that they have as well. So it really is a welcoming space to be able to jump online and pick and choose wherever you want to, as the game has gone and embraced the internet age, so that everyone, anywhere in the world, any time of day or night, can play and learn.
Maurice, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, giving us all this great information, and thank you for sharing your incredible stories with us.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Make sure that you check out the book Move by Move, because this is going to be a great gift to give to that graduating someone in your life, or this is just going to be a great life lesson that you can learn through the game of chess. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned.
Welcome back to our show. Now, consumers are becoming more and more environmentally conscious and very much sustainability savvy. So joining me today is the VP of Consumer Relations of Bogle Wines. I've got Jody Bogle here. Jody, how are you this morning?
Doing well. Thank you, Kimberly. Good morning.
Good morning. So I'm sure it's bright and early for you because you were coming to us from the West Coast. So great to have you join us this morning. Excited to chat because Bogle Wines is doing a new initiative to really be on the forefront of sustainability in the wine industry. So let's talk a little bit more about it. Why is it so important to invest into sustainability?
Well, Kimberly, we are a sixth-generation family business, sixth-generation farming family. And so everything we've done for all these years has always been about looking forward and thinking about how we can do right by the planet and do right for our next generation. So several years ago, we looked into reducing the weight of our traditional wine glass bottles, and we did so by about 10%. But we realized at that time we wanted to do more. And so that's when we started exploring aluminum.
Well, it's great because you're seeing the transition in the water industry. So this is really exciting to see it in the forefront of the wine industry as well. So tell us about the new aluminum bottle and how it will impact the wine and the taste of it.
Yep, I've got one right here. Introducing Elemental Wines. This is the first of its kind, 750 aluminum wine-shaped bottle. It's infinitely recyclable. It's shatterproof. It's very outdoor friendly for all that hiking and biking and parks and pools and things like that in your neck of the woods. It's 80% lighter than glass. So our family is so proud to be able to offer the consumer an eco-friendly and sustainable option for wine where they don't have to sacrifice the quality or the tradition about what they love about wine drinking.
Well, it's a beautiful bottle, and I know everybody here in our mountains are going to enjoy that because it's a lot lighter to throw in your backpack when you're doing a day hike. That's wonderful. So will the aluminum change the taste of the wine?
That was something that we were very concerned about as well. Quality has always been so important to our family in our winemaking. And so we actually took the same wine and we bottled it in glass and we bottled it in aluminum. And for over a year, we did monthly blind tastings, and we were unable to determine a difference between the wine that was bottled in glass and the wine that was bottled in aluminum. So we're very confident that people are going to love the juice that's in these bottles.
Well, I know that's going to be on my summer drinking list this year. So that's very exciting stuff. So can you talk to us a little bit about the primary benefits of using an aluminum bottle?
You know, the glass bottle, the traditional glass bottle that's out there, actually accounts for nearly 30% of wine's carbon footprint. So there's a lot of weight savings that you get when you use aluminum. You can actually fill a truck with Elemental Wines, and it's 43% lighter than a traditional glass load of wine. So you're going to actually take trucks off the road. Glass is also difficult to recycle in certain places, and it's very expensive to do so, and you can only recycle glass a certain number of times. Aluminum is infinitely recyclable. It's very inexpensive to recycle, and when you're done with this bottle, you throw it in your blue bin, and you know what? It might come back as one of our other bottles, one of our other Elemental bottles.
I love that. I don't think I've considered, changing the packaging and eliminating the carbon footprint from the trucks on the road. So that's a really cool initiative that you're taking. So where can we go for more information?
It's really simple. Just go to elementalwines.com.
Wonderful. Well, Jody, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate you, and best of luck in this new initiative. And the bottles are beautiful. So congratulations.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Now stay tuned. We'll be back with more on our show right after this quick break. I'm all about the brand new series, especially when they involve interesting and catchy titles. Now we're taking a look at a conversation about the brand new series, The Killer Bee Catcher. Let's take a look at that conversation.
World Bee Day is next week, and up next joining us, we have Lance Davis. He is a bee whisperer and part of the Killer Bee TV show coming out. Lance, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Ross. Thank you for having me, and happy World Bee Day. I think it should be World Bee Month, because without bees, we wouldn't have anything pollinated, and fruits and vegetables, they develop right away, and they develop over time, like the bees pollinate over time, and we get all the benefits from it.
It's so
an
true.
insect that asks for nothing.
Every day is World Bee Day, right?
Yes, with me it is anyway.
That's right, that's right. So can you tell us a little bit about your background here, and what does it take, and how do you get to become a bee whisperer? And I understand you work with honeybees and killer bees, but give us the down low on what you do.
Okay, well, I started out in 1971. That's when I moved to Palisade, Colorado.
Nice.
On the western slope, and near Grand Junction, and started keeping bees then. And it was a little difficult because I didn't like being stung, and every time I got stung, my finger would swell up, or I get stung on the hand and my arm would swell up, and it was really quite treacherous. And then I got stung about 40 times on the ankle. The doctor said, if you get stung again, you could die. Ooh. And me being hard-headed, I went ahead and kept on going anyway. But the next time I got stung, I didn't swell at all. I go, and I realized later on I used up all the antibodies that my body was reacting to, and now it's just natural, it's just part of my system, so it doesn't work like that anymore. And I started with that in 1971, and then I moved back to Palm Desert here in 71? 1906, yeah. That's when I started actually keeping bees, but then I moved back to Palm Desert 7 years later. And we went ahead and started keeping bees out here. And I thought, wow, look, if I could take these bees out of this wall, it wouldn't be all that ugly foam and all the honey dripping down. And there's still bees there, so they really didn't accomplish much. And so I started doing that, and I got into just every day going out and doing a job, and now it's 3 or 4 jobs a day, and it works well for me. Awesome. And I'm really happy to see that happen. But there's an emotion you got to feel to handle bees, and if you don't handle them right, then they can react in a very aggressive manner. So you have to know what you're doing to keep in control with the bees, giving them their space, and you give them your space, and then you interact with them.
Amazing, amazing. And this all led you to this Killer Bee Catcher show on EarthX TV. Can you tell us a little bit about that show and what people could expect from it?
Oh, this show, we go in so many different areas and fascinating places, on top of a gym, on top of a hospital, out at a duck club, actually in Mecca, and deal with all sorts of different things. Some I use a sawzall, some to cut open the wall. Sometimes I use just a hammer and break open the wall, because I know the stucco has to be put back in a way that if you have a straight cut, you'll have a cold joint. So you got to crack it around the edges so that it all fits together and holds better. And then I just do all sorts of things in this show that people find pretty interesting. And I'm really glad to be able to bring that out, and how hard it is to get bees out of a structure or off of even a tree, and do it correctly so nobody gets hurt in the process.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. I bet the footage is just great. And then, I mean, we got a quick kind of viral look at you at the Indian Wells tennis tournament down there in Florida. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience? I think it was 35,000 bees you had to remove before they could continue play there, but tell us a little bit about how that went.
Well, yeah, that was in the spider cam, way above everybody, and they can drop it down and all around. It's very versatile. And the bees landed on the top of the spider cam because it was getting cool in the afternoon, and the bees landed on the top of it because it's black, so it was warm, and they liked hanging out there. And it was clear across on the other side. I go, how do I get over there? I kept asking them, and they said, it's okay, they're going to bring it to me. And I went, oh, lunch is served. But I didn't eat the bees, of course. I went ahead and vacuumed them off like I always when I remove a swarm, and they were quite gentle and insecure at the same time. and I took them away. And I guess Mr. Alcaraz got stung once or twice, so they had me go down and take the bees off of the scoreboard, which is at the ground level
Amazing.
there on the courts. And I just sprayed pheromone neutralizer there, and it kept them from coming back. And then Mr. Alcaraz, I went back out there again. He didn't want to play. He said, I can't focus on the bees. And I said, okay, well, it's 63 degrees. It's going to be down even cooler pretty soon. And the bees are going up to the cage that I'd taken out of my housing, and I put on the deck there so the other bees that are flying around would land on the cage. And they did that. I said, there won't be any bees here in about 10 minutes. And you can play because you said the magic word. You said, focus. Focus on the game and win, and he did.
Amazing, amazing. That is awesome, Lance. For people like us that aren't at a tennis tournament or playing professional tennis, what should someone just, around town or at home that sees a swarm of bees, what should people do if they see those?
Well, keep the children away, of course, and try to maybe caution tape off. That's what they do at the Coachella Fest and the Stagecoach Festival. I've been doing that for 12, 13 years now. And I always keep everyone safe. And nobody seems to get stung or hurt because I just tell them to conduct themselves in a way that won't excite the bees by just moving slowly, and they can stand still and watch them. And of course, they videotape with their cell phones and things like that, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I don't mind at all. And I take the bees away, and then everybody's happy because they're relieved that nobody will get stung.
Yeah, awesome. And I've heard that, bees tend to swarm in winter with those cold climates, and especially up here in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. That sounds like it's plausible, but what's kind of the deal with winter and the bees? What are they doing?
Well, they're all cooped up inside, especially in Colorado, because it can get, down to 20 or 30 below zero in different areas in the mountains. But like in Palisade, it got down to 5, 6 below a lot of times, below 0 Fahrenheit. And they're all cooped up in their beehive, and they're actually vibrating their wings to make frictions to keep warm. So they've been cooped up there for probably 3 to 5 months, and they need to get out. And they take their cleansing flights when it warms up to above 57 degrees and the sun's out in the spring. And then in that time, the queen still has to lay up to 2,000 eggs a day. So the babies are still hatching out. And my goodness, it's quite unique when they get so many bees and the overcrowdedness happens in a beehive. Half of them have to leave, so they leave with the queen, the old queen bee, and they find a place on a tree nearby to hang from. That's called a swarm. The other half stay and make a new queen where they're at inside the beehive and start the process over again, which takes 15 to 20 days. And then that swarm finds a place to live by sending out scout bees to different areas. And when they find a place, they communicate that somehow, and then they go ahead and go to that place. Now you have 2
Amazing.
colonies of bees from 1.
Amazing,
And
amazing.
the African bees do this about 9 to 12 times a year.
Wow, wow. Lance, thanks so much for joining us. I know that those bees are following their queen, but you, sir, are the king of killer bee removal. So thanks for joining us. Really important, obviously, what you do, and we're celebrating Bee Day next week. So thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you so much for joining me on this Monday morning here on Wasatch Weekends. We certainly had a fun conversation about killer bees, chess, and wine. All great conversations to be had. We'll see you next time. I'm Kimberly Perot.